So real quick, I just want to talk about panoramic photography. You can kind of do this with any type of camera. Really, a lot of cell phones, smartphones are able to do it. I'll talk about both, but first of all, my X-T2 does it, and I'm going to do kind of a longer lens panoramic, mostly because like you can see this area is just all really flat, and with the longer lens, I can kind of get more out of focus and a little less in focus, so it kind of looks cool. With the Fuji, it kind of does it like the iPhone. When I take it, as soon as I push the button, it's going to start firing. So panoramic, I'm going to pan across as I take the photo. The cool thing with the Fuji is that there's a line as a horizon, and you kind of just try and keep up with that line and then just do a nice, slow, smooth pan. You don't want to go too quick because your camera or whatever you're using will have trouble stitching it. You don't want to go too slow because you won't get wide enough. So let's start with the Fuji. I'm on a long lens. Sam's down there, but we're going to miss him. So I'm at a 50 millimeter, which again on the crop sensor is more like a 70. So I'm going to aim up and I'm going to start just a nice slow pan across. And as you can see, there's your panoramic. Take a look. It's nice and big. The cool thing doing it with a big camera like this is that it's going to maintain resolution. And that file is actually bigger than your normal files on your camera because it's stretched across the entire way. And with the Fuji, it automatically stitches it together in the camera. The iPhone and most smartphones will let you do a panoramic on your phone. Just switch over to pano mode and sort of has the same thing. It's got that line, horizon, it's got an arrow in which way you want to go. There's kind of two methods of doing panoramics with iPhones. Some people just move their whole body and pivot. Other people just use their wrists like this. I found that this movement, the wrist movement, is probably your best bet. Try to kind of scope out where you're going to start and stop. The cool thing about the iPhone one is that you can start and stop it whenever you want. So it could be kind of a taller panoramic, or it can be a real wide panoramic. So one thing to do is to pay attention is things in your shot. If there's a lot of people in front of your landscape that you're about to shoot, you have to be wary because if they're moving, the whole idea behind your panoramic is it's taking multiple shots. So if a person moves from one frame to the next, it's going to look funny. We're going to shoot. Sam's going to be in our shot here, and we're going to start. Hit the button. I'm going to slowly move across. Sam's moving in my frame, so now you can see he's really messed up my panoramic shot. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, you can see he's on the left, he's on the right, he's in the middle. Really didn't work out that well. So when you're at a place that might be crowded, try and get as close as you can to the edge, being safe, as close as you can get away from people. So let's try this again. And look, Sam's right at the end and he didn't move, so that's great. So let's take a look at the shot. So it's not as wide, but still like a pretty nice pano. And for an iPhone 7, I know that file's pretty big to print like a nice little image. So lastly, if you don't have a camera that will take panoramics for you, or you have a panoramic setting, you can do it manually. And all you have to do with that is pick your spot where you're going to begin, kind of take a look and know where you're going to end, and you're just going to take a single photo, move a little bit, take a single photo, move a little bit. It's basically doing what the application the computer's doing in the camera and in the phone, but you're doing it yourself, and then you're going to take it into post and you're going to stitch it yourself. It's a lot more work, but it's very possible and you can do it. So start there, kind of in the same spot, take a shot. I'm only moving a little bit. I'm including a little bit from the last shot in this shot so I know where to stitch it. Same thing, moving across, another one, including a little bit in the previous shot in the next shot, and so forth. And you can go as far as you want. With this, you can get even crazier and go 360 if you feel like it. And so now we'll take each one of those single shots and we'll stitch them together in one big Photoshop file. It's a little bit more work, but it's worth doing if you can't do it on your phone or your camera. So panoramics with landscapes are very specific. There's not a lot of, it's kind of hard to sometimes share those on social media and on your Instagram or something like that because of the small screen. You can upload them to Facebook and they'll get nice and big and you can see them. What I think panoramics are really great for is just printing them. They're going to be nice and beautiful and you're going to be able to see everything, and you know, they're just really beautiful. I think the big thing to know is when you take it into post, if you have a camera or a phone that's stitching it together already, is just to kind of take a look and see if there's any lines and make sure you kind of learn how to clean that up. But we can go over that later. I see a lizard. I'm going to put my long lens on and try and get it real landscapey, right?